Well, hello again, sports bettors. It's Jonathan here from the School of Bets. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to win more often when you're betting on the NFL. Now, being a successful bettor in the NFL is all about having a system that works. For beginning bettors, that can be difficult. But the DraftKings Sportsbook has an awesome little NFL predictor that's going to help you fine-tune your system and become more successful with your NFL bets. Let's check it out now. Okay, so the DraftKings Sportsbook NFL Predictor can be found at the DraftKings Sportsbook, obviously. I'm on the web browser at the moment, but you could be on the mobile app as well. You'll find it on the homepage down here in the Stats Hub, and I've gone through the NFL, and then in the secondary menu, I've then gone to the Predictor. Now, this thing is fantastic for creating a little system for yourself. Now, often when you go to place a bet, you probably do try and take into account lots of variables, but whereas this actually allows you to rank the variables. So what I've done first of all here is I've gone through and just picked my parameters. So I've picked Green Bay at Chicago, which is the opening game of the NFL season. I'm looking at a single bet, and I'm also going to go on the point spread, which is, as we know, is the handicap. And so what DraftKings have done is they have gone and selected 6 parameters that they think influence the game quite heavily and the result of the game. And then you get to rank each of those 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. So for instance, last 5 games, which is the last 5 times each of the team has played against their various opponents, you might think that's actually got a really great bearing, and you scroll that forward. Now, this is a week 1 matchup, so I'm actually not going to give the last 5 games too much of a weighting, because I consider last year's games, and yep, okay, similar rosters, but probably some changes there, some key changes. The against the spread record is again, a bit of a parameter that I would probably use later in the season and not in week 1. But if you thought the against the spread record, which is kind of indicating how well the team's performed against the expectations, you could really rank that right up nice and high. Home field advantage you might see is fairly important, or you may not. This is a divisional matchup, so you take that or leave that how you feel. But I'm going to move this one up to about number 6 at the moment. I'm just going to give these 2 here a very small ranking, so just a 1 each. Put that at 6. Then the last time they met, so obviously the last time these 2 teams played, we have some win-loss sort of track record there. So I'm going to move that up to a little bit, up to say 3. And then you can rank the home team injuries. Now at this point in time, let's just leave that as it is. And all of a sudden, my predictor has spat out a result for me. Chicago Bears -3.5, the -110 odds, and it's suggesting to me that that's the best play for me to take if I thought these were the parameters that mattered. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust those and see if we get a different result. So I'm actually going to pull these down. I'm not even going to give them much of a rating at all. If this was week 6 of the NFL season, then possibly I would actually put quite a bit more weighting on this. Okay, but at the moment, I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to knock home field advantage down a little bit, because I also think to myself, well, divisional matchup, Green Bay's played at Soldier Field a lot. Possibly they're going to handle the conditions pretty well. Let's imagine now, for instance, and we don't know this for sure because it's still obviously the preseason, but let's imagine that the Chicago Bears have actually suffered quite a lot of injuries in the preseason, lost some big-name players, and I'm going to make that 10. I think the injuries have really affected them, whereas Green Bay, not so bad. I'm just going to give that a 1. Now I'm going to look at what the predictor spits out to me. And what it's saying, Green Bay Packers +3.5 is the best play for me. I think this system, this thing that DraftKings has put here, is a great little system for beginning bettors to start to organize their thoughts and start to work out how to read parameters that might influence a result. I don't necessarily think this is hugely accurate, but for you as a beginning bettor, this is something that you really should look into, because this is a way for you to honestly think through all of the things that could affect the result. Oftentimes, as a beginning bettor, we jump in and we say to ourselves, oh, let's just bet on Chicago because that's what we're feeling at the time. I've got this feeling in my gut. Well, gut instinct doesn't always work with sports betting. Sometimes you've really got to weigh up the parameters and the influences that are leading into the game. And so that's why it takes a little bit of research. But I think you'd find this extremely worthwhile.
So that's the DraftKings Sportsbooks NFL Predictor. I hope you can make it work for you. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, make sure you turn on notifications so you can find out every time we upload a new video. Thanks for watching. I'm Jonathan, and I'll see you next time on the School of Bets.